and analysis at townhall.com. I'm Keith Peters reporting.
This is Ian with AccuClean. With the holiday season and gatherings with friends and family quickly approaching, now is the perfect time to get your carpets, rugs, and upholstery cleaned. AccuClean is a veteran-owned and local carpet cleaning company located in the for over 20 years. Call AccuClean today at 803-957-1202 to make sure your carpets are refreshed this holiday season. Once again, that's AccuClean at 803-957-1202. We hope to see you soon.
It's not easy being a veteran.
Coming back from Iraq or Afghanistan, I had been so excited to come home.
But it's harder than I thought.
Join us at communityofveterans.org
And connect to others who are going through the same thing.
Brought to you by Iraq and Afghanistan Veterans of America and the Ad Council.
This is the Founders Federal High School Football Scoreboard on the Sports Talk Media Network. Coming up, scores and reports from across the state and analysis from David Shelton. The scoreboard is brought to you by Founders Federal Credit Union. Relax, you're with Founders. Now your host for the High School Scoreboard, Phil Kornblut.
All right, good evening, everybody, and welcome to the High School Football Scoreboard here on the South Carolina Sports Talk Media Network as we bring you scores from across the state of South Carolina. Great to have you with us on a Friday night, first Friday night of the playoffs. Now, the marathon of the regular season is over, and the sprint to the championship weekend is upon us. It'll be here in a split second as teams now are getting serious. Not that they weren't serious during the regular season, but now things really turn up a few notches in terms of what it all means. It's win and advance or lose and go home. That's the way it is for the high school teams across the state in the 5A, 4A, 3A, 2A, 1A playoffs in the high school league. And in SCISA, you have playoffs in 3A, 2A, 1A, and 8-man football. Okay? Make that 4A, 3A, 2A, 1A, and 8-man football in SCISA. So, SCISA championships will be the weekend ahead of the high school league championships. High school league championships this year, if you aren't aware, will be at South Carolina State University in Orangeburg Thursday, Friday, Saturday, leading into the first weekend of December. And SCISA championships, I think the bulk of them, if not practically all of them, will be at Charleston Southern. I think the 8-man championships are played on home fields, if I'm not mistaken. Okay, David Shelton will be joining us in a little while. He's in the Low Country. He's covering the Goose Creek game tonight. I think it was the Goose Creek game tonight he was going to cover. So he'll be joining us in a little bit to share his thoughts, his analysis on the outcomes of some of these games. Let's go ahead and dive into the final scores. Got a bunch of them in, and a shout out to South Carolina High School Football Updates on X, also known as Twitter. Really not also known as Twitter, previously known as Twitter. It's just X now, but people have a hard time forgetting about Twitter and calling it X, but it is X, previously known as Twitter. So shout out to SC High School Football Updates. Do a great job of aggregating scores from across the state. Let's go ahead and give you what we've got to this point, beginning in the high school league playoffs, and we'll start in a 5A. It's a Dutch Fork, a winner over Boiling Springs, 56-7. So you better not be sleeping on the Silver Foxes of Dutch Fork. They did not have the kind of season that they're used to having, but it's the playoffs. They've gotten healthier, and especially at quarterback, and they're starting to win football games again. You got to believe they're going to be a factor, but they are going to have to go up and play T.L. Hanna next week. I'm sure T.L. Hanna is handling Fort Mill, waiting on a final there. Gaffney took down Lexington 47-14. Kind of thought maybe that was going to be a little bit of a closer game than it turned out to be, but not to be the case. And Spartanburg last night went to Rock Hill as the underdog and won 31-7. Underdog as far as the bracket is concerned. Not sure what the betting line was. Sure there was one out there. Spartanburg beat Rock Hill 31-7. White Knoll, a winner over Cane Bay, 28-0. Berkeley beats Conway 44-8, and Carolina Forest, a winner over St. James, 42-14. That is what we have posted thus far in the 5A playoffs. In the 4A playoffs, terrific game in the upstate. Greer manages to beat Indian Land. It was a nip and tuck, close one, 29-28. The Yellow Jackets advance. Coach Will Young and his team moves on to round number 2. Greenville High, no such issue with South Aiken. They run out the Thoroughbred 63-7. How about this? I guess this would have to be considered an upset. Major, mild. I'm not sure how you would describe it. Greenwood goes to North Augusta and wins 17-16. Meantime, Northwestern continues to roll all over Lawrence tonight, 57-0. Westside, the same with Airport, final score 42-0. You got Midland Valley over Easley, 28-21. South Florence, big winner over Lugoff Elgin, 42-0. We talk so much about their offense, but their defense posted a shutout, so you got to be impressed there. Lucy Beckham defeated West Florence 37-7. It was Myrtle Beach over May River 40-14. Wow. We got an interstate score. We got a major interstate score. This might be, I'm pretty sure, the highest scoring game for one team all season. I don't think anybody touched this. Irmo, 85. Colleton County, nothing. Do we have that verified? We do. JP Barry, are you sure you put your life on it? No. Oh, you would. If you're wrong, you got to give me that jersey. Oh, you're showing me the scoreboard.
Scoreboard doesn't lie.
You're right. The scoreboard never lies. JP, by the way, decked out head to toe in Notre Dame gear. You're fired up about tomorrow, aren't you?
Absolutely. I'm waking up bright and early to get up there, tailgate before the game. Have a good time.
There you go. 85-0. Irmo over Colleton County. My, oh, my, oh, my. Sumter. Let's see. Hang on a second. I'm just going to text back somebody who sent me the score. Sumter, 56-13. The Gamecocks winners. Got a lot of Gamecocks in the state. Sumter Gamecocks, South Carolina Gamecocks, Jacksonville State Gamecocks. They're all in the state of South Carolina tonight. And I can only think of one more. I'm going to put you to the test here, JP. So you got the South Carolina Gamecocks. You got the Jacksonville State Gamecocks. You got the Sumter High Gamecocks. There's one more set of Gamecocks I can think of playing football. On the high school level, you'll never get it. I believe it's Scriven County, Georgia. Look it up. I think they're the Gamecocks as well. Scriven, Screven, Scriven County, Georgia. I think they're the Gamecocks. So Sumter wins 56-13. So there will be, am I right? Huh. Who you talking to, man? Who you talking to, JP? There'll be at least 2 sets of Gamecocks winning this weekend. Sumter's got the first claim. All right, where do we leave off? So 85 I can hardly fathom 85 points. Of course, we did have a game involving those 2 North Carolina teams. Remember that? Were you here that night? One of them scored 115. The other one scored like 80-something. 85-0, Irmo over Colleton County. All right, to the 3A bracket. Daniel, 49, Blue Ridge, 2. Chapman, 45, Crescent, nothing. Here's a good one. We thought this would be a good one. It turned out to be a good one. Chester, 42, Powdersville, 34. That was a dandy. Belton Honeypath having a great year. Got a really good running back. 63-7 over Emerald. Camden, big over Dreer. Corey Jenkins' team, 48-7. Hanahan, 41. Ainer, 16. Gilbert beat Darlington, 49-12. Brooklyn Casey downs Lake City, 42-20. Crestwood, 35. Orangeburg Wilkinson, nothing. We're just getting another final. Beaufort, 35. Loris, 13. So Beaufort on the road wins at Loris, 35-13. Let's go to the 2A bracket. Fairfield Central beat Liberty, 48-7. I'm just looking. Let's see. Dunta, looking to where somebody's going to have to play Gray Collegiate from that region, possibly, eventually. Looking forward to that when that happens. Fairfield Central might be the closest one to them in the bracket if they keep winning. Fairfield Central 48, Liberty 7, Strom Thurmond 49, Landrum 7, Keenan 24, 96, 21. There's a tight one. Chesney 21, Batesburg Leesville 10, Andrew Jackson 58, Ridgeland Hardyville 16, Hampton County 33, Bishop England 7, Barnwell 35, Lake Marion 8. To the 1A playoffs, Christ Church big over Ridge Spring Monetta, 49-0. Calhoun County over Whitmire, 62-0. Lakeview beat Well Branch, 33-28. Lamar, 27, Branchville 6. All right, this can't be right. You put this score in. This can't be right. Are you sure? The Allendale Fairfax Latta score? Are you sure? That can't be right. Has that been verified? Have you seen the scoreboard? That's up there on the. This says Allendale Fairfax 12, Latta nothing. Come on, that just can't be. That's Latta was a 2 seed, a 9-1 team playing at home, and they don't score. I don't trust that score. I don't trust it. But we got to go with it for now. 12-0. Allendale Fairfax over Latta. That breaks my heart. I don't believe it. But we got to go with it for now. In Skeeza, Hammond 41, Trinity Collegiate 7. These are the 4A playoffs. Lawrence Manning 49, Heathwood Hall 13. 3A, Pinewood Prep 49, First Baptist 7. Florence Christian 30, John Paul II 21. In 2A, Williamsburg Academy 46, Spartanburg Christian 7. Northside Christian 33, Colleton Prep 28. In 1A, Patrick Henry 28, St. John's Christian 21. I'm not buying that score. I'm not buying. We're not going to get shut out at home in the playoffs. I don't believe it. I want to double check. Some other finals. Hartsville 70, AC Flora 27. Newberry beat Saluda 24-15. Dillon 42, North Charleston 8. TL Hanna 53, Fort Mill 9. So that means TL Hanna and Dutch Fork will play up there next week. And I think that is it as far as scores that we haven't given. Nope, here's another one. Clover 31, Woodmont 14. Here's another one. Lamar 27, Branchville 6. I can't believe that score. Not to take anything away from AF. I'm flabbergasted. I'm skipping it this time. Marion 48. Maybe if I don't say it, it won't be real. Marion 48, Central nothing. Northside Christian 33, Colleton Prep 28. And I think we've gotten all these in. So let's go to our opening break, and we'll come back and get to the phone calls. Folks who have been waiting to give us reports, we appreciate it. We'll have reports throughout the night. Probably have some time in the latter part to dial up some coaches. Happy coaches. They like to hear from us this time of the year. You know why? That means they're still playing football. Regular season, we're a pain in the butt. Playoffs, they love you when you call because that means they're still playing. And the goal, of course, is to be practicing on Thanksgiving. If you're practicing on Thanksgiving, that means you're playing for a spot in the state championship that Friday. Back after the break.
Hi, this is Lisa Hosteller Brown. If you or a loved one are over 65 and haven't completed a long-term care planning consultation, now is the time. Did you know that if you aren't able to afford the high cost of skilled care, your assets can be rapidly depleted to only $2,000 unless you plan 5 at Lawyer Lisa? Your assets can be rapidly depleted to only $2,000 unless you plan 5 years in advance. Visit lawyerlisa.com to see how we can help.
7511 St. Andrews Road, Irmo, South Carolina.
Funded by the South Carolina Beef Council, part of the Beef Checkoff Date Night, or Burgers with a Family. Make sure beef is a part of.
Okay, we're back. Apologize for the computer issues we're having here, but obviously the stop break did not go smoothly, so we'll just come right back to the show. And let's go ahead and get to some of the reporters there, JP. We got folks standing by waiting to give us updates from their games in the state tonight. We'll update other scores as we get them in. So we welcome in Garrett Mitchell, who is at the Woodruff Wren game tonight up in the upstate. And Garrett, you're leading us off tonight. Thanks for joining us.
Well, Phil, I appreciate it. I wish I could say this wouldn't be the last time I'll be calling in this year. Well, you know what? It might not be. It might not be because you know me. Once Woodruff is finished for the year, then I start traveling around and watching games. So I'll probably still be back next week. But it was an entertaining game at Wren. Golden Hurricanes came away with the win, 49-32, and. It's just Wren got the football first. They won the toss. They elected to receive, and they scored first, and it was just playing catch-up the rest of the way. So, tough finish to the year for the Wolverines, but, like I've said all year, just so much young talent. It's a lot to build on. And for Wren as well, their quarterback and running back, they're juniors. So these are two teams that are going to be really good for a long time. And, it's the message that the coaches were giving the Woodruff kids after the game. This wasn't an end tonight. You only lose a small handful of seniors. Most of this team is back and back for 2 or 3 more years. So for those guys, it's only the beginning. So proud of how hard they played. Hate to see it come to an end so soon, but at the same time, let the countdown begin till August because there's a lot to look forward to in Woodruff.
So building for the future, that's kind of the message there, right? Took it on chin some this year, but building for the future.
That's exactly right. When you look at your starting running back as a freshman, 2 of your 3 leading receivers are sophomores. Corey Moats, who had 340 total yards against Union County last week, he had another big night, approaching 200 total yards tonight. Aiden Gibson, the freshman running back, was well over 120, 130 total yards. Multifaceted, can catch out of the backfield, runs it hard. You saw some young flashes from some kids that were pulled up from the JV team that you watched all year that are 9th graders as well that are going to make a big impact starting next year. So, it's tough. And I think anybody around Woodruff would tell you the defense has got to tighten up. That was kind of the bugaboo all season. You start 6 or 7 sophomores on the defensive side of the ball. So you have to figure as kids get older, better, faster, stronger, that's going to get better next year. I think once it all coalesces and you put it together, the future is really bright. So a lot to look forward to, like I said.
Well, Garrett, we appreciate it, man. And yes, call in from wherever you are next Friday night. I promise we'll take your call.
Sounds good. Well, I'll tell you what, I'll go ahead and give you a sneak preview. I've got some good friends down in the CSRA, so I typically go down there and watch some games with those guys once I'm able to. And it looks like I may be headed to wherever Silver Bluff is going next week. So I'm not sure who they play yet, but wherever Silver Bluff is probably where I'll be.
Sounds like a plan. We'll look for you.
All right, Phil, thank you so much.
Garrett, thank you. Appreciate the reports all season long. So Wren advances, and Woodruff is done for the season. Let's go to Kevin Selman, voice of T.L. Hanna, the mighty, mighty Yellow Jackets, the mighty sound of Yellow Jacket Radio. Hello.
Hey, Phil, how you doing tonight?
How about that lead-in? The mighty sound of the Southland.
Well, listen, I appreciate that. I don't know if I'm worth that build-up, but I appreciate it nonetheless. But onto the game tonight. It was a bit of a sloppy start for the Yellow Jackets. Fort Mill actually went up 3-0 after Hannah got the kickoff and actually had to punt on the first possession. I think we talked about this a couple of weeks ago. I think that is our 9th punt in 11 games. But we had to punt on the first series tonight, and then after that they went up 3-0, and it was the floodgates kind of opened up. The Jackets went on to the 53-9 win. We had a run the clock early on in the third quarter. We got a lot of JV players got to play tonight, which is good to see those guys. Hannah was actually on the goal line up 53-3 with like 2 minutes to go, getting ready to. The JV was getting ready to punch it in, and the quarterback fumbled the football, and Fort Mill ran it back 99 yards for a defensive touchdown to get that 9th point, and then we blocked the extra point. But the Jackets did their thing as they normally do on the ground. They rushed the ball 41 times for 421 yards. I believe we eclipsed the 400-yard mark every game this year, but one. Rushing, we were 4 or 5 passing for 22 yards. Just an all-in-all good night for the Jackets, and it sets up that big showdown next week that everyone up here is looking forward to. We've faced Dutch Fork several times in the state championship game over the last few years and come up short, and hopefully we'll have them at Jim Frazier Field next Friday, and maybe that'll be what we need to get over the hump against those Silver Foxes.
Well, let me ask you this now. I mean, Dutch Fork is like a wounded animal. Wounded animals can be very dangerous. How do you think your guys are facing this one? I mean, knowing that when they are at their best, there's even when they are depleted in some ways, but when they're at their best, they're still very, very good.
No question. We've been following Dutch Fork all year long. When the brackets come out, we knew how things were looking. This is something that that everybody's been able to forecast for a while now. That you could see this second round matchup coming. Listen, Dutch Fork started a bit slow. I think they played 2 or 3 games against out-of-state foes. Someone told me, and I don't know if it's accurate, someone told me they only lost that only 2 of their losses were to teams from South Carolina. I'm not sure if that's accurate. You might can correct me, but I know they lost a 1-point heartbreaker to Spartanburg, and I think White Knoll was their other loss. But either way, like you said, they're talented. They'll be coming up here. They'll be, they've got our full attention. Don't worry.
How big a crowd will you have next week?
Well, it'll be packed. I'm sure Dutch Fork will bring quite a crowd as well. I'm not sure how much Jim Frazier Field holds, but I'm sure it's probably in the 10,000 seat range. It'll be packed. I mean, I can, we've had this one circled for a long time, so it should be a exciting atmosphere and a big crowd for sure next week up in Anderson.
Well, we look forward to it. Thank you as always. Enjoy the game tomorrow there at the Death Valley.
Yeah, let me say one more thing before I hang up. As you know, I'm on the board at the Anderson Area Touchdown Club. We're real proud of our touchdown club in Anderson County. There are 8 high schools in Anderson County, and we're proud to say, now I know not all of them are going to win tonight, but all 8 high schools in Anderson County made the playoffs, and I don't think that's ever happened before, but hopefully some of those teams got to win tonight. We're real proud of those teams.
Well, that is fantastic, and congratulations. Anderson's a great football town, and I tell you, what you guys in the city are doing between your program and Westside is pretty exciting, pretty amazing. I mean, you got 2 very high-powered teams that could go a very long way in the playoffs.
Yeah, and don't forget BHP down in Belton, which is also in Anderson County. We have 3 teams in Anderson County which have a legitimate shot at winning a state championship, and that'd be quite a feat if that happened. And also, I work full-time. My full-time job is at Anderson University, as you well know. Well, we had 7,000 for our black and gold scrimmage last week. So Anderson is a hotbed for football, and just a lot of exciting things going on in Anderson and Anderson County right now. So yeah, for sure.
All right, my man. Thank you. Enjoy the game tomorrow. We'll talk to you next week.
Yes, sir. See you tomorrow, Phil.
Thank you, my friend. Kevin Selman from the voice of TL Hannah. Appreciate the update. David Shelton has checked in from the Low Country. Welcome, David.
Welcome.
What was your final?
My final was West Ashley defeated Goose Creek 30-21. The Wildcats rushed for over 300 yards, just pounded the football all night long, and Goose Creek had no answer. Goose Creek led this game 14-0 in the first quarter, and it looked like, okay, well, the Gators are going to blow them out, but They had trouble from then on moving the football. They had one good drive in the second half to score, but West Ashley just did a remarkable job running the football, and they're going to go play Carolina Forest next week.
All right, hang on. We got to go to the break, and then we will come back and bring you in. We'll go back over all the scores because we pretty much got all our brackets filled. Got a few scores missing, but we're working to get those. But this way we can go over everything. We got more reports coming in, and now David is with us for his unmatched expert analysis, money analysis that you just can't pay for the kind of analysis we're going to get from David. Be back after the break. Don't go away.
Ah, it's November, the time to knock out that Christmas wish list. No better place to start than at Shooter's Choice on Sunset Boulevard in West Columbia. Come and experience their new showroom. It's massive, it's awesome. And now, shopping is an easier experience for you. The selection of new firearms and accessories for your wish list, well, it couldn't be any better than it is right now at Shooter's Choice. Hey, you're not sure which hunting or home defense firearm is the best for you this holiday season? Let the experts at Shooter's Choice guide you to your best decision. See, their staff is hands-on with experience. They know guns, they hunt, they shoot. They can answer your questions on personal defense weapons, on rifles, pistols, and even shotguns. Plus, November brings you great promotions. Henry rifles, CVA rifles, Bergara rifles. They'll all be visiting to spice up your seasonal wish list with unbelievable discounts. Check out Shooter's Choice on Facebook for daily deals. And if you're undecided, then gift cards are perfect. They make great stocking stuffers. And listen, there's plenty of ammo in stock right now. And trust me, another ammo shortage is right around the corner. You want to get that taken care of. For your Christmas wish list, make your first choice. Your best choice. Make it Shooter's Choice.
Around for about a week. Daylight saving time comes to an end Sunday for many states, and fall clocks across the U.S. fall back to turn them back an hour. This is SRN News.
This decade may be the worst one yet to retire in. That's why you need the most current retirement information. For more than 30 years, Bob Carlson has been helping investors stay ahead of turbulent markets and money-grubbing politicians. Now, more than ever, you need to subscribe to Bob Carlson's Retirement Watch. Bob makes sure his Retirement Watch readers are getting independent advice on all aspects of retirement. It's advice you won't get anywhere else. When you subscribe to Retirement Watch, you'll get 12 months of the newsletter. You'll also get 5 model portfolios. Plus, you'll get immediate access to the Retirement Watch private website with tons of special reports. You'll also get an online spending calculator to help you deal with inflation. Plus, exclusive conference calls with Bob Carlson, answering your retirement questions live, all for as little as $49.95.
Hey, everybody. I'm David Jolly of the Higgins and Halloran Insurance Group. When you think about insurance, I ask that you think of me. I'm homegrown in the Midlands. I live in Lexington. I'm a lifelong learner, teacher, coach, and friend. There are many insurance agencies out there, and there's even more agents. How am I different? I served 20 plus years as a coach and teacher. I'll help you understand it. I've done this for a long time. I've been there for folks during horrible times in their lives. It's not easy, but it's when I can help the most. I'll explain the right insurance coverage, not try to sell it to you. Best of all, I'm an independent insurance agent. I want to be your trusted insurance advisor. I have no quotas to fill. I work for you, and I'll find you the best and most affordable coverage to fully protect you, your family, and your business. I'm always available to my clients, who I get to know as friends. I can help with personal insurance, like your homes, vehicles, or boats, your commercial, for business owners. And it doesn't matter how big or small your company is, I want to help. So when you think about insurance, think of me, David Jolly of the Higgins and Halloran Insurance Group. Online at higginsandhalloran.com or give me a call at 803-850-0054.
Fran Halloran here. Now listen closely to what I'm about to say. I'm a business owner, and many of you listening right now, you're business owners as well. The first rule in owning a business is this: don't waste money. I see business owners waste their marketing dollars all the time. Not me. I figured out a long time ago that spending my marketing dollars at the point was not only intentional, but extremely profitable as well. If you're a small business owner, you owe it to yourself to sit down with Kevin Cohen and ask him to create a custom marketing plan for your business. He's looking for folks just like you who believe in local to partner with him in 2023 and beyond. Trust me when I tell you, partnering with The Point works. You will see results and your marketing budget will no longer be wasted. Give Kev a call at 803-563-8558 and tell him the Money Coach sent you.
Do you own an annuity, either fixed rate, indexed, or variable?
Are you paying high fees and getting low returns? If so, Annuity General would like you to have this free book to learn the pitfalls and mistakes of buying an annuity. The Annuity Do's and Don'ts for Baby Boomers contains the little-known truths about annuities, like how to help reduce your fees and increase retirement income. And it's free. That's right, free. As a bonus, we'll also throw in a free annuity rate report just for calling. We researched over 1,000 annuities and summarized rates and benefits from financially strong insurers. You get Annuity Do's and Don'ts for Baby Boomers and the Annuity Rate Report, both absolutely free for calling Annuity General today. Hurry, supplies are limited. Call now.
800-760-1845. 800-760-1845. 800-760-1845. That's 800-760-1845.
All right, welcome back into the high school football scoreboard, brought to you by Founders Federal Credit Union here on the Sports Talk Media Network. We are working very quickly to get all the scores logged in on our sheet. So let's give you what we've got. We've got almost everything in, only missing one score. JP, see if you can get that Chapin Stratford score. See if you can track that down. Then we'll be complete in 5A. David Shelton is with us as well. Let me run through the scores in 5A. T.L. Hanna 53, Fort Mill 9, Dutch Fork 56, Boiling Springs 7, Clover 31, Woodmont 14, Gaffney 47, Lexington 14, Spartanburg 31, Rock Hill 7, J.L. Mann 44, Blythewood nothing, Burns 44, Dorman 17, Hillcrest 37, Nation Ford 29, White Knoll 28, Cane Bay nothing, Fort Dorchester 40, Socastee 14. Sumter 56, Ashley Ridge 13, Somerville 28, River Bluff 3, Berkeley 44, Conway 8, Carolina Forest 42, St. James 14, West Ashley 30, Goose Creek 21. Did you find that Stratford, Chapin? What you got? If you got it, did you find it?
Stratford came back from an 11-point deficit with 4 minutes left and took the lead. And then Stratford took a 46-yard game-winning field goal to win 28-27.
For Stratford?
Yes.
Oh, wow. 28. You turned me off. 28-27, a field goal at the end. All right, David, 5A, what do you think about what went down throughout the 5A bracket tonight?
Didn't hear any upsets. Little surprised the way Sumter beat Ashley Ridge, but I felt like Ashley Ridge's weakness was on defense. And maybe Ashley Ridge turned the ball over or some or whatever, but I did not expect that broad a margin. But most of the other scores seemed about right. Looking forward next week, there's going to be some good second round matchups. One that pops into my head immediately was Burns and Hillcrest will play next week, so that will be a big round.
Mm-hmm. Where did Clover come from? When did Clover get pretty good?
Well, they were getting pretty good under Brian Lane before he left and went to Westside. So they've been pretty good for the last few years. Perry Woolbright's over there now and kind of changed some things, and they're doing it a little different way than what they did with Coach Lane. But they're just on a good run right now. They obviously believe in themselves and. But I think most people expected them to be pretty good. I think they started out kind of slow, but they're hot at the right time.
All right, let's go to the 4A bracket. Dandy 1, Greer 29, Indian Land 28, Greenville 63, South Aiken 7. Another Dandy, Greenwood 17, North Augusta 16, Northwestern 57, Lawrence nothing, York 26, Riverside 17. Westside 42, Airport nothing. South Point 49, Eastside 7. Midland Valley 28, Easley 21. South Florence 42, Lugoff Elgin nothing. With 7:37 to go in the fourth quarter, Richland Northeast 74, Bluffton 48. They might be playing into Sunday. Lucy Beckham 37, West Florence 7. Lancaster 26, Ridgeview 14. Myrtle Beach 40, May River 14. Irmo, Irmo 85, Colleton County nothing. I mean, David, 85, seriously?
Yeah, that's a lot of points.
I mean, and Hartsville 70, AC Flora 27, and we're looking. How about James Island and Wilson? Have you heard anything on that game?
Just got that score, 49-6, James Island.
Oh, very good. That closes off our.
Hartsville will go to James Island next week.
That'll be a dandy. So your thoughts on the 4A bracket? I mean, you had some real offense, RNE, Irmo, Hartsville, South Point, West Side, Northwestern, Greenville put up some big points.
Yeah, these are all those teams you mentioned were games that had the possibility of getting out of hand. Greenwood with a big win tonight. That's a good win over North Augusta. North Augusta coming off that tough loss to Midland Valley. Obviously, maybe they weren't 100% into it, but big win for Greenwood.
Let's go to 3A. Daniel, no trouble over Blue Ridge, 49-2. Wren 49, Woodruff 32, Chapman 45, Crescent nothing. Chester in a thriller, and this is one we talked about on Sports Talk as having the possibility of being a good one. Chester 42, Powdersville 34. Belton Honeypath 63, Emerald 7. Clinton 42, Palmetto 18. Broome 42, Seneca 35. Dillon 42, North Charleston 8. Camden 48, Dreer 7. Hanahan 41, Ainer 16. Gilbert 49, Darlington 12. Brooklyn Casey 42, Lake City 20. Late in the fourth quarter, Philip Simmons 48, Manning 22. Crestwood 42, Orangeburg Wilkinson nothing, and Beaufort 30, Loris 13. We need Travelers Rest in Pendleton, JP, if you can find that for us. David, thoughts on the 3A bracket?
I thought I saw a different score of Beaufort Loris, but maybe I didn't. But I'll check that during the break.
Yeah, we'll double check it.
No upsets there. I mean, if Beaufort beat Loris on the road, that would be a mild upset, not a major upset. But as you can see in the first round of the playoffs in South Carolina, there are a lot of blowouts. Just too many. But I know everybody, wants a trophy. But man, we need to. The first round really isn't that much fun. Even if you have somebody pull an upset, it's like, okay, once in a blue moon, whatever. But these scores you're reeling off, a lot of 30 and 40 point victories, a lot of running clocks tonight.
Sure. I've double checked it on ScoreStream, and they've got Beaufort defeating Loris 30-13.
No, could be, but I know at one point it was a lot closer than that. But maybe Beaufort got hot there late. I'm going to look it up on Twitter.
Okay, see what you can find there. All right, let's go to the 2A bracket and see how we look in the 2A bracket. Everything is in. Abbeville 46, Columbia 6, Newberry 24, Saluda 15, Silver Bluff 47, Mid Carolina 6, Fairfield Central 48, Liberty 7, Strom Thurmond 49, Landrum 7, Keenan 24, 96-21. Gray Collegiate 62, Pillion nothing. Chesney 21, Batesburg Leesville 10. Andrew Jackson 58, Ridgeland Hardyville 16. Kingstree 14. This one shocked me, David. Kingstree 14, Timberland 12.
Well, I mean, I thought that could be close. That's a 3 versus a 2. Timberland coming off a tough loss last week, and Kingstree really wasn't a bad football team. They were in a good conference, but it's upset based on the brackets, but not based on the two teams.
All right, Hampton County 33, Bishop England 7, Andrews 50, North Central 18, Oceanside Collegiate 42, Lee Central nothing. In overtime, Woodland 34, Cheraw 33, Marion 48, Central nothing, and Barnwell 35, Lake Marion 8. Anything else there in the 2A bracket catch your eye?
Nothing out of the ordinary. And I did check that Beaufort score. They did beat Loras 30-13. So I know at one point they were down like 13-10, but and then that sounds like that Stratford game with Chapin. Seeing some messages. Chapin had second down and was running the clock out, and they threw a wide receiver screen that was intercepted and returned for a touchdown.
Oh no!
And Stratford went up by 4, and then they ended up winning on a. I think Chapin scored. All in the last minute and a half. There were touchdowns and field goals, but yeah, it looked like according to this, it said they were running the clock out, second down, they threw a wide receiver screen, intercepted, return for a touchdown.
Oh my goodness! Okay, let's go to the 1A. Let's go to the 1As, David. We got Christchurch 49, Ridge Spring Monetta nothing, McBee 49, Dixie 12, Blackville Hilda 46, McCormick 20, Wagner Sally 46, C.A. Johnson 6, Calhoun County 62, Whitmire nothing. In I guess it's fourth quarter, this game is still going on. Last update we had, Southside Christian 14, Denmark Oler nothing, Louisville 52, Calhoun Falls nothing, St. Joseph's 38, Hunter Connor Tyler 24, Johnsonville 57, St. John's nothing, Lakeview 33, Well Branch 28, Lamar 27, Branchville 6, Carver's Bay 62, Baptist Hill 36, Bamberg Earhart 43, Hannah Pamplico nothing, and Allendale Fairfax 12, Latta nothing. David, how does that happen? How did Latta lose to Allendale Fairfax at home 12-0 tonight? No offense, AF, all the love, but come on.
Wow, yeah, that's a wowzer. I didn't have that one on my bingo card, that's for sure.
I mean, I just don't understand. 9-1 in a good league. Only loss was to Lamar. You got home field.
That's one of those. It's one of those games where if you played it 10 times, Latta would win 9, but the one that counted was the one they played tonight, and that's a big win for Allendale Fairfax, and that gets Latta out of the bracket for a lot of these other schools in the lower state, like Lamar and Lakeview and Cross and Bamberg. So, there's some people cheering right now. I mean, Cross was going to play Latta next week, so now they'll play Allendale.
I wonder how many turnovers Latta. They must have turned the ball over just a ton. I mean, this team does not get shut out. This team has a really good offense. But anyway, I'm not going to sit here and cry about it. I'll cry off the air. That just really stings. All right, Skeeza 4A, Hammond 41, Trinity Collegiate 7, Cardinal Newman 41, Augusta Christian 24, Lawrence Manning 49, Heathwood Hall 13, Porter-Gaud 28, Ben Lippen 23, 3A, Pinewood Prep 49, First Baptist 7, Hilton Head Christian 42, PD Academy 7. By the way, JP, while I'm doing this, we need to get the Cross Hemingway score, if you can hunt that down. You just put one in. Did you just put one in that I didn't have a moment ago? I see one less blank on my 1A sheet. Who'd you just put in there in 1A?
That was Bamberg, Earnhardt, and Hannah Pamplico.
43-14, Bamberg Earhart over Hannah Pamplico. I like to say Pamplico, even though we know it's Pamplico. All right. Back to Skeeza. Let's see. Did I give you Porter-Gaud 28, Ben Lippen 23? 3A, Pinewood Prep 49, First Baptist 7, Hilton Head Christian 42, PD Academy 7, Florence Christian 30, and John Paul II 21, Wilson Hall 49, Northwood Academy 28. 2A, Williamsburg Academy 46, Spartanburg Christian 7, Bethesda 50, Greenwood Christian 6, Northside Christian 33, Colleton Prep 28. In 1A, Lee Academy 42, Clarendon Hall 6, Patrick Henry 28, St. John's Christian 21, 8-man Richard Wynn 77, Holy Trinity 38. All right, we're going to run to the break. And those of you holding, we appreciate it. Hang in there, going to get right to you. Come out of the break and get more from David as well as we break down these games, start looking ahead to round number 2. Plus, we'll have a hot call in here pretty soon from Billy Baker, who was at Somerville tonight. So we'll get the story on that Somerville win. When we come back, though, a lot of folks are holding on to give us their stories. And we'll get to you after the break here on the High School Football Scoreboard, brought to you by Founders Federal Credit Union.
South Carolina's taste buds have spoken, and they're asking for beef. There are more than 7,800 farms raising cattle from pasture to plate in the Palmetto State. So whether it's steaks on the grill before the big game, sirloin medallions plated for date night, or burgers with the family, make sure beef is a part of your playbook this football season. Smoked, grilled, and slow roasted. Find the best way to enjoy your beef at scattle.org. Beef. It's what's for dinner in South Carolina. Funded by the South Carolina Beef Council, part of the Beef Checkoff Program.
Farm Bureau Insurance's agricultural roots and ties to South Carolina farmers have shaped the company's culture and work ethic, providing a unique customer experience. Customers are treated like people, not policies. Now, while other insurance companies may have a one-size-fits-all approach to handling customers, we believe you need to be valued and treated right. Our claims professionals work until the job is done, and our agents still believe in the commitment that comes with a handshake. Call Buddy Bridges in Clinton and Lawrence at 864-923-2174 for all of your auto, home, and life insurance needs.
Looking for a way to fight back against inflation? One viable way to help your money stay relevant during inflation is through investing. To a new investor, investing can feel like a puzzle. With so many pieces to consider, it can be hard to know where to start. But with the right guidance along the way, you can put the pieces together to create a winning strategy. That's where Founders Investment Services come in. Our team of financial advisors can help you navigate the complexities of investing and create a personalized plan that fits your goals and risk tolerance. We'll work with you to identify the pieces of your puzzle and how they fit into your financial future. When you're ready to find the pieces to your financial plan, call 866-739-7064 to speak with one of our specialists, or visit foundersfcuinvestments.com to learn about how we can help you identify the key pieces to your financial plans. Securities offered through LPL Financial, member FINRA SIPC, and not NCUA insured. Not guaranteed by credit union and may lose value. Investing can be like a puzzle. There's so many pieces to consider, and it can be hard to know where to start. But with the right guidance, you can put the pieces together to create a winning strategy. That's where Founders Investment Services come in. Our team of financial advisors can help you navigate the complexities of investing and create a personalized plan that fits your goals and risk tolerance. We'll work with you to identify the pieces of your puzzle and how they fit into your financial future. Call 866-739-7064 or visit foundersfcuinvestments.com to learn more about how we can help you take the first step towards reaching your financial goals. Securities offered through LPL Financial.
Touchstone Energy Cooperative members save more on electricity. And members save more on insurance, groceries, healthcare, restaurants, travel, concerts, and sporting events through Co-op Connections. Touchstone Energy is an alliance of the member-owned electric cooperatives. And as a member, the power is yours. Experience the power of co-op membership with Touchstone Energy and find out how much you can save on electricity and a whole lot more at touchstoneenergy.com.
Football season is upon us, and that means Columbia is welcoming fans from around the corner and across the country. No matter where you're from, Gamecocks love coming together for game day energy that can only be found in South Carolina's capital city. Book hotel rooms, find pre- and post-game activities, and plan your tailgate spread with local favorites from pimento cheese to barbecue at experiencecolumbiasc.com. We'll see you soon, and go Gamecocks!
Your home is where your memories live. It's where you laugh and where you love. We understand the importance of the valuables under your roof, tangible and intangible alike. So no matter what's around the corner, we'll be there. offering you and your family the support that's made Farm Bureau Insurance a trusted name for nearly 70 years. You deserve more. You deserve a promise. Learn more at scfbins.com.
Call me, Alex Satterfield, at 803-749-9171 for all of your Midlands insurance needs.
All right, back on the high school football scoreboard. Phil Kornblut here in Columbia, J.P. Barry as well. And we go back out to reporters standing by. So let's go to Wayne Gray with Myrtle Beach High School. He is, I'm not going to say second team announcer. He's announcer 1B for the Seahawks when the big dog is away with the Chanticleers. Mr. Gray, welcome in. How are you?
Phil, I'm doing great. How are you?
Terrific. Thank you for joining us. Tell us about the Seahawks' big win tonight over at May River.
Well, big win tonight, first round of the playoffs. Let me say this. You know, Coach Wilson's in his 15th year, and last week was his 150th win. Ooh. He's 150-40. You know, averaging 10 wins a game is something. He's done a great job following Scott Early, and he was Scott Early's offensive coordinator. But anyway, get to the game tonight. We play May River, who we went to beat last year in the first round of the playoffs at their place, and the game was 40-14. But a very balanced offense. Our Gibson Goodrow, the quarterback, was 12 of 17 for 182 yards with 3 touchdowns. John Simmons, 6'5", 190-pound junior receiver, really played well tonight. Continuing to get good play out of the running back, Malachi Washington. He had 161 yards, the senior who has started for the last 3 years. The one thing I can say about this team is we're not, Phil, we're not as athletic as we have been used to over the last 20 years. Maybe don't have quite the stud or the quarterback play, but this team has really rallied and played well together. They understand and are very self-aware of their athletic ability relative to, okay, well, how do we challenge other teams that are as athletic as we are? And it's don't make mistakes, don't turn the ball over, play as a collective unit, have a lot of accountability. So big win tonight over May River. And, but we got a big one the next Friday night. We go to Irmo, who is probably every bit as good as, they may be the next best team in 4A to South Florence. So
Pack your defense. Pack your defense. That's all I got to say. You know what Irmo did tonight, right?
Well, I looked at the score on SC Score Stream when it was 50-0, and then I heard you say earlier 85-0.
85-0. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. So that's kind of unheard of, and but I know Coach Wilson and his staff is going to look forward to the challenge. And Irmo is a great historic football program. From when they used to dominate what was 4A back in the 80s and early 90s. And so I'm looking forward to being able to go there and broadcast that game.
Yes, sir. Hey, thank you. Have a great weekend. Talk to you next week.
Hey, we'll see you when you get down here for the Touchdown Energy Bowl as well.
Looking forward to it. Thank you, Wayne.
Thank you, Phil.
Thank you. Wayne Gray with the call tonight for Myrtle Beach High. Lane Harris is traveling with Coastal Carolina. Let's quickly go to Bruce McNeil. Bruce, got about 2.5 minutes. If you can squeeze in the recap of the Sumter Gamecocks, the first of the Gamecocks in the state to win this weekend. Go right ahead, sir.
Yeah, quite a surprise in a way. We were gearing up for an air raid of sorts from Ashley Ridge, but their quarterback, Trevor Kalish, was picked off 5 times. Sumter turned, I think, 4 different interceptions into points. The biggest one, Bryce Allen had a pick 6 early in the third quarter, which really blew the game open to make it 35-7 at that point. Big night on the ground for Sumter. John Peoples, roughly 144 yards and 3 more scores. He has 29 touchdowns now. Cam Fortune went over the century mark, and he scored twice. And Pate Merchant threw for a touchdown. Very efficient offense, but demanding and dominating defense by Sumter, forcing turnovers. Anthony Addison had a big night chasing harassing. I'm sure their tackle will see him in his sleep tonight. He was just all over the field.
Well, big win for the Sumter Gamecocks, and you guys move forward, and thank you for the report. We'll talk to you next week.
That sounds like a good plan.
Thank you. Good hearing from you. So Sumter wins, and 56-13, their final, and I think they will get Stratford next week, if I'm looking at my scores right. I got them paired off right. I think they'll get Stratford next week. We'll go over the pairings with David as we move on through the evening. All right, coming up on the top of the hour, let me tell you, it's gone final. Richland Northeast, we have a new high-scoring mark in the state for this year. Richland Northeast, 88, Bluffton, 54. This R&E team scored 70-something a couple of weeks ago. I mean, they are lighting it up. Did I hear the quarterback rush for over 400 yards? 88-54. More to come. Reporters are standing by. Don't go away. Be back in a moment.
The only afternoon local talk radio in Columbia is the Afternoon Drive with Kev. It's all about you. It's your phone calls. It's my challenging topics. All the news, traffic, and weather weekdays, 4 p.m. on The Point.
Press that button, home stew.
WQXL Columbia, W264DF.
From the Bart Fireside Studio, the solution for keeping you warm this winter.
This is 107 The Point.
News this hour from townhall.com. I'm Tasha Stevens. Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu is pushing back against the Biden administration's pressure for a pause in the month-old war in Gaza. Netanyahu said Friday there would be no temporary ceasefire until the roughly 240 hostages held by terror group Hamas are released. A Virginia teacher shot by a 6-year-old student can proceed with a lawsuit against a school district. Correspondent Shelley Adler reports.
A judge has ruled that a Newport News school teacher can press forward with her $40 million lawsuit against the school system over claims of negligence by administrators. That means Abby Zwerner could get more than just workers' compensation for her serious injuries caused by January's classroom shooting. Zwerner was hospitalized for nearly 2 weeks and had to undergo multiple surgeries after a bullet struck her hand and chest. The first grade teacher alleges that administrators ignored multiple warnings that the 6-year-old boy had a gun that day and had routinely dismissed ongoing concerns about his troubling behavior. I'm Shelley Adler.
Retailers expect a slowdown in holiday retail sales. Ed Donahue reports.
The National Retail Federation expects shoppers will be spending more compared to last season, but because of all the economic uncertainty, the pace of spending could slow down. The nation's largest retail trade group expects a slight drop-off. Leading up to the holidays, Americans keep spending despite higher prices and higher interest rates. There are other potential roadblocks on the horizon: the threat of a government shutdown, the resumption of student loan repayments, and new global tensions tied to the surprise attack by Hamas in Israel. Shoppers' willingness to spend could also affect what the Federal Reserve does with interest rates. I'm Ed Donahue.
More on these stories at townhall.com.
This decade may be the worst one yet to retire in. That's why you need the most current retirement information. For more than 30 years, Bob Carlson has been helping investors stay ahead of turbulent markets and money-grubbing politicians. Now, more than ever, you need to subscribe to Bob Carlson's Retirement Watch. Bob makes sure his Retirement Watch readers are getting independent advice on all aspects of retirement. It's advice you won't get anywhere else. When you subscribe to Retirement Watch, you'll get 12 months of the newsletter. You'll also get 5 model portfolios. Plus, you'll get immediate access to the Retirement Watch private website with tons of special reports. You'll also get an online spending calculator to help you deal with inflation. Plus, exclusive conference calls with Bob Carlson, answering your retirement questions live, all for as little as $49.95. Try it for 30 days, and if you're not satisfied, cancel and we'll refund your money. Sound fair? Sign up today at retirementelders.com. Retirementelders.com. That's retirementelders.com.
Fewer U.S. teens are vaping this year, according to a new U.S. report.
About 10% of high school students say they used electronic cigarettes in the previous month. That's down from about 14% last year. Fewer high schoolers were using tobacco products like cigarettes and cigars, too. But vape usage among middle schoolers remained about the same at around 5%. That's according to an annual survey. of about 22,000 students by the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention. Among teens who currently vape, about a quarter said they use them every day. Health officials believe a number of factors could be driving the decline, including rising prices and efforts to limit sales by raising the legal age to 21. I'm Jennifer King.
A storm raging across Europe is leaving millions of households in the dark. The storm system brought heavy rain and strong winds to Western Europe, leaving more than 1 million French households in the dark on Thursday. They say the storm is going to hang around for about a week. News and analysis at townhall.com.
This is Ian with AccuClean. With the holiday season and gatherings with friends and family quickly approaching, now is the perfect time to get your carpets, rugs, and upholstery cleaned. AccuClean is a veteran-owned and local carpet cleaning company located in the Midlands for over 20 years. Call AccuClean today at 803-957-1202 to make sure your carpets are refreshed this holiday season. Once again, that's AccuClean at 803-957-1202. We hope to see you soon.
Text and work. Text and pretend to work. Text and act surprised when someone calls you out for not working. Me? Text and whatever, just don't text and drive. Visit StopTextsStopWrecks.org. A message from NHTSA and the Ad Council.
This is the Founders Federal High School Football Scoreboard on the Sports Talk Media Network. Coming up, scores and reports from across the state and analysis from David Shelton. The scoreboard is brought to you by Founders Federal Credit Union. Relax, you're with Founders. Now your host for the High School Scoreboard, Phil Kornblut.
All right, welcome back. It's hour number 2 of the high school football scoreboard across the state here on the Sports Talk Media Network, brought to you by Founders Federal Credit Union. Phil Kornblut, David Shelton, J.P. Barry. And let's jump right back to folks who have been waiting. We have another hot call coming in, the hottest of the hot calls. Billy Baker, High School Sports Report. In the Low Country tonight with Summerville, 28-3 over River Bluff. Welcome, Billy.
Thank you, Phil. Working on a cover story on the Greenway for the past month or so, and had a hard time keeping Coach McKissick's name out of the story, by the way. But tonight, I'll run some quick stats. 60 plays for Summerville, 431 yards. Quarterback Jaden Cummings, 24-32. 319 yards and 4 touchdowns. And Yannick Smith, the outstanding Shrine Bowl receiver, 9 catches, 122 yards, 2 touchdowns. Keyshawn Washington, 5 catches, 49 yards and a touchdown. And Sheldon Glenn, 3 balls, 93 yards and a touchdown. And running back Trey Green, 14 carries, 462 yards. River Bluff, 208 yards on 57 plays. Parker Murray, the quarterback, was 23 of 33 for 170 yards. And on defense, there's a junior prospect, number 32, Griffin Leonard, had 14 tackles. Somerville had, their top tackler was Jacob Cotterill, going to Army, 11 tackles. I give you now Ian Rafferty, one of about 12 players who played in the National Football League from Somerville. He's now 11-0 and ranked number 1, and they'll play Berkeley next week. I give you Coach Rafferty.
By the way, Coach, I was just going to say welcome, congratulations, but I wanted to mention for those who might not have seen it that John McKissick remains the world's all-time winningest coach, because that coach down in Louisiana had 30 wins taken away because of forfeits over the years. So that was approved by the National High School Federation. So we congratulate Coach McKissick for staying number 1, huh?
Yeah, it's awesome. It's good for him. I hope he gets to keep it. But, records are meant to be broken, and I'm sure that guy will probably stick around long enough to get that one, because it's a monumental record.
Absolutely. Well, congratulations to you and your guys tonight. Your feelings about the way you guys played overall?
I feel good about it. I knew, I was just sitting there telling Billy, we've had 2 back-to-back emotional weeks, having to come from behind to beat Ashley Ridge. And then last week, finally getting over the hump with Fort Dorchester. And, I was concerned maybe having a little letdown. But we got the short end of the stick on the at-large draw. I can tell you that. That's the best 5-5 team I've ever played against. They were just beat up a little bit. Injury bug kind of caught them throughout the season. But we grinded it out and did what we needed to do to win.
Defensively, you must have been proud of the effort over there. The way your guys, basically shut down their offense and kept them off the scoreboard, except for the field goal.
Yeah, I was very happy with that. They only got the field goal because we daggum got a block punt. First one all year. They blocked the punt and recovered it, and I think we knocked them back about 20 yards, and then they kicked the field goal. But defense did outstanding. They've been kind of overshadowed a little bit by the offense this year, but in order to win these games, whenever one group's struggling a little bit, the other one's got to step up, and I was real pleased. They do. Our defensive staff does a heck of a job preparing each week, and our kids buy into the game plan. So it was good.
Match up with Berkeley next week.
Yep. That's kind of one of the unfortunate things about the way the playoffs are set up in South Carolina now. You try to play people from other regions that are close to you, so you don't have to travel. Then you got to turn around and play them again in the playoffs. But it'll be exciting. Hopefully, we'll have a better crowd next week. I'm sure Berkeley will bring a lot of people, and hopefully our people will show up. But it's tough. I always tell people it's tough to beat the same team twice in the same year, especially when you get into these playoffs. Anything can happen.
Take nothing for granted, don't you?
Yeah, try not to. I keep telling the kids that, I'm a pretty straight shooter, and sometimes they look at me like I'm crazy. I told them tonight wasn't going to be easy, so hopefully they'll listen to me next week. And Berkeley's a dangerous football team, and they got some athletes and they got good coaching. So we're gonna have to get healthy and play our best. But I'm glad we're at home. I think we've won 12 games in a row at home. We got an unbelievable home environment when our people pack the stands. So hopefully that'll be to our advantage.
I'm sure they'll turn out, Coach. Congratulations once again. Thanks for the visit. We'll talk to you again.
Yes, sir. Thank you, Phil.
Thank you, sir, and thank you, Billy Baker. David, I'm looking here at the fabulous website for high school football, South Carolina high school football history, and Summerville with 830 wins all time, most in South Carolina. Gaffney would be second with 824. Gaffney's record, according to this, 830 wins, 271 losses, and 30 ties. 75% winning percentage for the Green Wave over all the years, 104 seasons of football.
Yeah, they a lot of people don't. I mean, Coach McKissick, rest his soul, was amazing and did what he did over 62 years was unbelievable. But Somerville was winning when he got there. Harvey Kirkland was the coach before McKissick and had won some state titles and had won. They were really good before Coach McKissick. And what Coach McKissick did was just the longevity. And, through the 50s and then the 60s and 70s, they were dominant and even into the 80s. So, but yeah, Somerville, has won football games for about 100 years now. They're since about 1920 something. So I don't know the exact, but it's close to 100 years. And it's unfathomable to imagine in those 100 years, that one guy was the coach for 62 of them.
That is, this day and age, you're never going to see anything like that again. He replaced Harvey Kirkland in 1952. In 51, they went 6-4. And then the next year they went 8-1. In fact, Coach McKissick's first year was 52. And in his first 7 seasons, his first 6 seasons, they only lost 3 games in his first 6 seasons.
Yeah.
He got off to a great start.
Yeah, I would say so.
But then in 57, they went 1-8. What's the story there? Any story there why they went from 11-0 to 1-8?
Well, I hate to break this to you, but I wasn't there, so I don't know.
I had to get Billy Baker on the line. There's got to be a story. Maybe there was something. I don't know. There's got to be a story why they went from 11-0 to 1-8 from 56 to 57. So, okay. thank you for that history lesson, Corn. Let's go back to folks standing out in the fields. Like, okay, let's get to it here. And we go to, is it Justin? Justin Mathis is with us from the Upstate tonight. And let's see, Justin, I'm trying to guess which game. I'm not going to guess. Where were you tonight?
I had the Crescent Chapman contest over here in.
Tell us about it.
So, yeah, I'll be honest with you, Phil. It was Chapman from the opening kickoff once Crescent decided to defer to the second half. Yeah. But I would say it's a big night for Coleman Gray and senior receiver / Swiss Army knife, Bennett Smith. Coleman Gray had a big night, completed all 11 of his pass attempts for 220 yards, 3 scores, and the play of the night came on one of those passes. It was just past midfield it's knocking on the door midfield. Pocket broke down. Coleman Gray scrambled out to his left, being a right-handed quarterback, and called for one of the receivers to come back. Found Smith downfield on a jump ball. Smith goes over a defender, steals the ball from what looked to be the defender going to grab it, and then Smith took it the rest of the way for a score for a 57-yard strike. I mean, that was just an incredible play to behold. So Chapman shuts out Crescent. 45-0. Matthias Scott also had a good night, 52 yards in a score. Gray also had 2 rushing touchdowns. But Bennett Smith finished with 3 catches for 145 yards and a pair of scores. That was a pretty good night at the office, I'd say.
I would say so. And thank you, my friend. We appreciate the report. Chapman will continue in the playoffs next week. And let's see. Looks like you've got a matchup with Chester on the horizon.
Yep, with Chester, who beat Powdersville 52-34. And from what I read from one reporter over there covering that game, Eli Hudgens, I think may or may not have left that game a little bit early from Powdersville for injury reasons. I'm not sure. So
okay, all right, my man. Talk to you next week. Thanks for the report.
Yes, sir. Be blessed.
Right. Justin Mathis. Thank you, sir. Justin Mathis with that story. Let's go to Monty Dutton on the beat with the Clinton Red Devils. They beat Palmetto 42-18. Monty, welcome.
Hey, Phil, how are you?
Terrific.
I wanted to give you kudos, by the way, for relieving the tension at Dabo Swinney's press conference earlier this week.
Well, I was just an innocent bystander.
That's a great function for a member of the media. I never mind. I'm not going to waste time on that right now.
Yeah. But
it was a strange game, and it was a bit misleading because Palmetto deserves a lot of credit. They came in, and the Clinton only led 14-12 at halftime, scored 28 points in the second half, and Palmetto threw for their quarterback Brooks Jansen. Hit 19 of 36 passes for 261 yards. But the key is that, of course, Clinton rushed for 279 and Palmetto rushed for 26. But one of the things is, when you're in high school, there's so many quarterbacks with big numbers that when you're successful but not prolific, it doesn't get as much attention. And tonight, Clinton's junior quarterback, Deshaun Richardson, who really is something special, he was 10 of 12 for 121 yards and rushed for 30 and threw for 4 touchdowns, 2 apiece to Caden Crawford, the North-South player from Clinton, and to Zay Johnson, who was the Shrine Bowl player from Clinton. They both caught 4 passes. Clinton had the usual balanced rushing. The leading rusher, Trey Cook, had 79 yards, and Clinton had, I think, 7 players with double figures in rushing. But it was Clinton has a really high-powered team, but the weakness that Clinton has is they've got to hold their penalties down because, once again, Clinton High had 105 yards in penalties, and they had a lot of scores that were called back. But Richardson only threw 1 incompletion. He threw an interception, but he was 10 of 12, 1 interception, 121 yards, and 4 touchdowns. So Clinton took care of business, and it was 42-12 when when Jansen threw a bomb late in the game to close out the scoring. But Clinton will play Broome next week, and that is going to be a very competitive football game next week. And the Red Devils are 9-2 and ranked 6th in the state, and it'll take a good team to beat them. And but they've got to do something about these penalties. And it wasn't a good first half at Wilder Stadium, but Clinton took care of business, and it's on. And by the way, this was Corey Fountain's 40th win at Clinton, and he's the beginning of his career is similar to Keith Richardson's. Keith Richardson, way back in 1969, went 4-6 his first year, then had 2 really good years, but then they won the state championship his fourth year. This is Corey's 5th year, but Corey was 4-7, then 3-3 in COVID, then 11-2, 13-1, and now he's 9-2. So this was his 40th career win at Clinton, and he won a lot of games at Lamar. So he's building quite a career with the Red Devils.
Yes, he is.
Another big night at Clinton. I'm sort of sitting there wishing that I hadn't gotten a fountain drink on the way home. Even though my house is warm, I'm shivering here in the middle of the house. So, but it was a satisfying win, and the average person is not going to have any idea how tense it was in the first half.
Monty, thank you very much, sir, and have a good weekend. We'll talk to you next week.
I got to pull those Paladins through tomorrow.
There you go. Go and enjoy. All right, Monty Dutton with the story there on Clinton. Yeah, Corey Fountain has a fantastic record at Lamar. He never won fewer than 8 games, and as Monty pointed out, doing quite well at Clinton. So he's an excellent coach, and appreciate Monty's report. Let's get one more in before the break. We go to Steve Gray with the Newberry Bulldogs story tonight as they advance in the playoffs with a victory in 2A. Steve, welcome in. Give us a story there on Newberry, 24-15 over Saluda.
Yeah, sure, Phil. We figured this was going to be a good game coming in. Two teams that were pretty evenly matched, and starting off the game, they traded drives, no scoring. But then Newberry got the ball on the plus side of the 50. Pushed it in with about 2:04 left in the first quarter. Kenton Caldwell on a quarterback keeper puts the Bulldogs up 7-0. A few minutes later, B.J. Jones for the Bulldogs busts through the line for a 10-yard touchdown run. And not much longer after that, Daniel Perron for the Bulldogs kicks us about a 25-yard field goal. It's 17-0 Bulldogs with 1:46 left in the half. But Saluda is not going to go away. Drew Arant hits Vic Gaines on a 74-yard touchdown pass. They make the 2-point conversion. We go into the half at 17-8. Saluda gets the ball first coming out of the halftime. On the third play of the second half, again, Arant to Gaines, 47-yard touchdown pass. One PAT is good. It's 17-15 Newberry. Tightening up a little bit. So Newberry gets the kickoff. First play, fumbles the ball on their own 19. Saluda gets the ball, drives a couple of plays, comes up with 4th and inches right at the 9. Newberry's defense holds, stops Kenmane Brunson, who is a really, really good back for Saluda, stops them on a run around the edge. The ball goes over on downs, and no damage done as far as the scoreboard. The score stays the same. Back and forth the teams go. Defense is standing up and stepping up. In the fourth quarter, Newberry's able to drive 52 yards, burning almost 5 minutes off the clock, and scores a touchdown on a B.J. Jones run with the PAT good to go up 9 points. That leaves about 6 minutes to go in the game. Still, Saluda not going to go away. Drives into the red zone with just under a minute. but Arant throws into the end zone, and it's picked off by Newberry's Jamel Howes. Newberry's able to take a knee, run out the clock, and that leaves the final at 24-15.
All right. Hey, thank you. And the Bulldogs advance in the playoffs. Look forward to hearing from you next week. Looks like you'll get Abbeville next week. That should be a lot of fun.
Yeah, well, that's what we were thinking. So we're going to be getting ready for that one.
Hugh, thank you very much. Appreciate it. We'll talk to you next week.
All right. Thank you, Phil.
Thank you. Hugh Gray from Newberry, WKDK, home of the legendary Jimmy Coggins, who's probably kicking back, relaxing with a nice brown liquid about this time of night. Maybe a cigar. Yeah, I know. All right, let's hit the break. We got more reporters coming up. If David Shelton hasn't dozed off, we'll roust him up and have him with us as well in our final half hour as we break it down, start looking ahead to next week. Back in a moment.
Investing can be like a puzzle. There's so many pieces to consider, and it can be hard to know where to start. But with the right guidance, you can put the pieces together to create a winning strategy. That's where Founders Investment Services come in. Our team of financial advisors can help you navigate the complexities of investing and create a personalized plan that fits your goals and risk tolerance. We'll work with you to identify the pieces of your puzzle and how they fit into your financial future. Call 866-739-7064 or visit foundersfcuinvestments.com to learn more about how we can help you take the first step towards reaching your financial goals. Securities offered through LPL Financial.
Touchstone Energy cooperative members save more on electricity, and members save more on insurance, groceries, healthcare, restaurants, travel, concerts, and sporting events through Co-op Connections. Touchstone Energy is an alliance of the member-owned electric cooperatives, and as a member, the power is yours. Experience the power of co-op membership with Touchstone Energy and find out how much you can save on electricity and a whole lot more at touchstoneenergy.com.
Your home is where your memories live. It's where you laugh and where you love. We understand the importance of the valuables under your roof, tangible and intangible alike. So no matter what's around the corner, we'll be there, offering you and your family the support that's made Farm Bureau Insurance a trusted name for nearly 70 years. You deserve more. You deserve a promise. Learn more at scfbins.com.
Call me, Alex Satterfield, at 803-749-9171 for all of your Midlands insurance needs.
Hello, friends. This is David Shelton, co-host of the Friday Night Scoreboard Show with Phil Kornblue. As many of you know my story, I've lost 2 sons to drug overdoses in the past 10 years. I want to tell you about my friends at Wake Up Carolina. Wake Up Carolina is a nonprofit recovery community organization dedicated to providing awareness, promoting education, and creating hope in recovery for our young adults, individuals, and families touched by substance use through collaborative community partnerships, trusted resources, and support services in Berkeley, Charleston, and Dorchester counties. The organization relies on private donors and state funding to make sure all their resources are free and open to the public. Call them today if you know someone who needs assistance. That's wakeupcarolina.org. Phone number 843-972-8154. Don't wait until it's too late.
Okay, we're back. Let's see if we can get the quick story from Travis Jenkins tonight from his game. I'm not sure if he was at Louisville or Chester. Which one were you attending, sir?
I was at Louisville, and it's a very quick story.
Okay, I figured because they won pretty handily.
Yeah, we were. Well, to show you how quick the game was, Louisville's game ended. I drove to QT, got gas, got my spicy chicken taquitos, got back in the car, and Chester's game was still in the third quarter. We were done at 9:05.
My goodness. Was there a running clock?
And it started running after the first play of the second quarter, actually.
Oh, my goodness. 52-0. Just really quickly, who were a couple of standout guys for Louisville?
Jordan Strong ran the opening kickoff back. Then Zach Rogers ran a punt back. Then Jordan Strong ran a punt back to the 4. Louisville was up 21-0 and had run one offensive play for 4 yards. And it was just that kind of night. Obviously, just Calhoun Falls Charter, good for them. They made the playoffs, and I know they had a tough week. Unfortunately losing a player in a car wreck last week, and he was honored before the game. They actually lined up on their first offensive play with just 10 guys on the field and had his jersey laying in the backfield. So that was a pretty touching moment. So, but they were just outmanned tonight. Louisville was up 45-0 one play into the second quarter, and we were done pretty early.
Thank you, Travis. And, yeah, that's tough for Calhoun Falls. I appreciate you mentioning that. And you guys go on to play St. Joseph's next week, so we'll hear from you then. Thanks very much. We appreciate it.
All right, thanks, Phil.
Thank you. All right. Travis Jenkins from up there in the Chester area. And appreciate the quick report there. Louisville 52-0. They get St. Joseph's next week. St. Joseph's over Hunter Connor Tyler, 38-24. We run to bottom of the hour break. More reporters are coming up. We bring back David Shelton. We go through the scores a final time for you. So stay with us here. Founders Federal High School Scoreboard. Back in a moment.
If you have unfiled taxes or are in debt to the IRS, this is important news. The IRS just rolled out a new program to help struggling taxpayers more easily resolve their tax problems. It's called the Taxpayer Relief Initiative, and it opens up powerful new options for people looking to get back on the right track with the IRS. And no one knows this program like the professionals at Optima Tax Relief, America's most trusted tax resolution company. They've resolved over $1 billion in tax debt for their clients and have the expertise and experience to help you. One easy call to Optima can start the process, helping to put an end to your worries of wage garnishment, asset seizure, and other aggressive IRS actions. Make today the beginning of your fresh start with the IRS. Call the experts at Optima Tax Relief now for your free confidential consultation.
Call 800-343-6460. 800-343-6460. 800-343-6460.
Optima Tax Relief.
Some restrictions apply. For complete details, please visit OptimaTaxRelief.com.
A temporary ceasefire in Gaza until hostages held by Hamas are released. It's believed they're holding more than 200 people prisoner. This is SRN News.
The United States Constitution guarantees every American fundamental rights and protection of life, liberty, and property. Salem is celebrating our founding document with a special offer, a 1953 Oman U.S. Constitution lithograph. To understand the value of these lithographs is to know the story. A master lithographer immigrant named Theodore Oman came to this country to find the American dream. 70 years ago, in 1953, Oman printed a limited number of these exceptional Constitution lithographs. Go to SalemEventsStore.com to read Oman's entire story. America's most important document stands as a testament to all Americans to maintain their liberties, freedoms, and inalienable rights. Buy it and display it proudly. Buy a gift for your family and friends, and for all the teachers in your community.
Fran Halloran here. Now listen closely to what I'm about to say. I'm a business owner, and many of you listening right now, you're business owners as well. The first rule in owning a business is this: don't waste money. I see business owners waste their marketing dollars all the time. Not me. I figured out a long time ago that spending my marketing dollars at the point was not only intentional, but extremely profitable as well. If you're a small business owner, you owe it to yourself to sit down with Kevin Cohen and ask him to create a custom marketing plan for your business. He's looking for folks just like you who believe in local to partner with him in 2023 and beyond. Trust me when I tell you, partnering with The Point works. You will see results and your marketing budget will no longer be wasted. Give Kev a call at 803-563-8558 and tell him the Money Coach sent you.
How would you like to get high-speed internet for your home for less than $2 a day? That's right. For about $50 a month, you'll get lightning fast internet. Are you paying less than $50 a month right now for your internet? Then call Whole Home Connect right now for blazing fast internet at $50 a month with no price increases, no hidden fees, no contracts, no upfront costs, no equipment fees. It's a great deal. And guess what? You can try it for 15 days. If you don't like it, you get your money back. But you're going to love it, and you're going to love the price. Internet for your home for $50 a month. That's less than $2 a day. Plus, no contracts, no upfront costs, no equipment fees, and our 15-day guarantee. Call now. 800-245-1537. 800-245-1537. 800-245-1537. That's 800-245-1537.
It's November, the time to knock out that Christmas wish list. No better place to start than at Shooter's Choice on Sunset Boulevard in West Columbia. Come and experience their new showroom. It's massive, it's awesome. And now, shopping is an easier experience for you. The selection of new firearms and accessories for your wish list, well, it couldn't be any better than it is right now at Shooter's Choice. Hey, you're not sure which hunting or home defense firearm is the best for you this holiday season? Let the experts at Shooter's Choice guide you to your best decision. See, their staff is hands-on with experience. They know guns, they hunt, they shoot. They can answer your questions on personal defense weapons, on rifles, pistols, and even shotguns. Plus, November brings you great promotions. Henry rifles, CVA rifles, Bergara rifles. They'll all be visiting to spice up your seasonal wish list with unbelievable discounts. Check out Shooter's Choice on Facebook for daily deals. And if you're undecided, then gift cards are perfect. They make great stocking stuffers. And listen, there's plenty of ammo in stock right now. And trust me, another ammo shortage is right around the corner. You want to get that taken care of. For your Christmas wish list, make your first choice, your best choice. Make it Shooter's Choice.
We return to the high school football scoreboard here on the Sports Talk Media Network, brought to you by Founders Federal Credit Union. Let's get back to reporters who've been standing by. We thank you for your patience. We go to Lou Bajak from here in Columbia with the State and thestate.com and gogamecocks.com and all that kind of good stuff. Lou, welcome in. Which game did you take in tonight, sir?
Dutch Fork in Boiling Springs.
Oh, very good. So is Dutch Fork starting to maybe peak a little bit, starting to show some signs of major life?
They definitely did. This is probably one of their more impressive wins of the year. They win 56-7. Coach John Knotts said exactly that. He said they're peaking right now and is not sure who wants to play them right now in the playoffs. So they got to go to Hannah next week, which should be a very big second round matchup. But they definitely look good after not scoring on their first drive. Scored on 4 straight possessions and also had a punt return for a score and kind of took control of the game. They really got the deep passing game to go along with the running game, and their defense played well tonight. Defense also scored a touchdown as well tonight.
Health-wise, they're in good shape. Are they back to being, fully with their roster, back together after having some key players down earlier in the season?
Yeah, John Hunt's back. He said he threw 3 touchdowns tonight, and he looked good and definitely playing confident, and they look pretty healthy. I think they made a few changes at wide receiver and that, but the 2 running backs are healthy, Anderson and Lodge, and like I said, that defense and offensive line are pretty strong and definitely will help them as if they're going to make another run to the state championship.
I know they're looking forward to this game with Hannah, and they know what to expect in Hannah. Their run defense, how good is it? Can it stand up to what Hannah will throw at them?
I think they will. I mean, we'll see. Boiling Springs really couldn't run it tonight when they fell behind that, but I think that's one of their strong points if they could shut down that running game. And the biggest thing is if they can create the explosive plays in the passing game to really help them offensively, get that lead and force Hannah out of its running game and force it to throw the ball.
All right, before we let you go, in Columbia tonight, Richland Northeast scored 88 points and Irmo scored 85. I got to believe in the history of high school football in the capital city, you've never had 2 schools score 80 points plus on the same Friday night. You know any numbers from those games individually speaking?
Will Wilson, I think, had 400 yards rushing, 401 yards rushing, what I saw. Arnie's quarterback's committed to NC State. Not sure. I haven't got Coach Brand's info for Irmo. I know AJ had some big touchdowns early. I don't know what his total yardage was, but school records for both. I think Arnie set their school record earlier this year at 73 against Flora, and then they top it with 88 tonight. And Irmo's 85. I think the previous was 63. Said a few different times.
Amazing. Okay. Thank you, Lou. Have a great weekend, and we will talk to you next week.
All right, guys. Thank you.
Thank you very much. And by the way, I should have told him this, David. We want a score by score breakdown for those two games, Richland Northeast and Irmo. I bet you.
Yeah, have him do that. Have him do that on tape, not when we're waiting.
Really? What are you talking about?
You can listen to it Sunday.
Yeah, really. 88 and 85 points. And we go to one of the most popular member of the Sports Talk crew, filling in for Chris Bergen, the voice of Sockasty. This would be the echo of Sockasty. Matt Smith on the call tonight for the Braves as the season sadly comes to an end. Hunter Renfroe is not walking through that door, Smitty, anytime soon there at Sockasty High School. They fall to Fort D 40-14.
They did, Corn. And, boy, can I say, I hope Clinton goes ahead and stays in the playoffs a while. I could listen to Monty Dutton all night. I love Monty's reports. And I would tell my good friend Travis Jenkins, who was on a couple of calls back, no more free plugs for the QT spicy chicken taquitos until they are the official snack food of the high school scoreboard. There was no more free plugs.
Well, go hunt that down for us.
Yeah, I'm gonna make a couple phone calls and see if QT won't come on board. But actually, the score here was a bit misleading, Corn. So this was an interesting game. We get to Fort Dorchester and find out their starting quarterback, Charles Watson, wasn't going to play. Bennett Ripper steps in and is the starting quarterback tonight for the Patriots. And he played really well. It had nothing to do with him, but Sockasty got out to a 6-0 lead behind their quarterback, Rocco Wojcik, an early touchdown pass. But by the end of the first quarter, he was injured and out. So now both teams are playing without their starting quarterbacks, and it's a back-and-forth affair. I'm very impressed. And David can tell you more about Davian Brown, 5 feet, 5 inches tall, about 175 pounds, and I'm going to say about 80% of that is hamstring. He is a stick of dynamite, outstanding tailback for Fort Dorchester. He had a 32-yard touchdown run, one of the best runs you'll ever see. And so it's a back-and-forth game, and Sockasty is actually in it, just down 17-14 late third quarter, and Fort Dorchester goes for it, ends fourth down and goal from inside the 5. They don't pick it up. So Sockasty has the football down just 17-14 in the final minute of the third quarter. But Coach Ben Hampton calls a timeout. Fort Dorchester calls a blitz on the ensuing play. They pick up a safety. It goes 19-14. And so Sockasty's defense, which had just come up with the heroic stop, is right back on the field. And the route is on from there. They just got worn out in the fourth quarter because they were on the field. And with their backup quarterback, Kadir Scott, who's their wide receiver, perhaps their best wide receiver, had to come in and play quarterback. And they kind of just couldn't pick up the fourth down conversions and stay on the field and rest the defense. So it was a bit misleading, although Fort Dorchester, with White Knoll on deck, I suspect if the scuttlebutt, and David, of course, is going to know more as time goes on, and he'll have all the sources on this, but if the quarterback returns Charles Watson, Fort Dorchester will be a load next week, and it's going to be a great matchup with White Knoll.
What about Sockasty? You've seen them a few times filling in for Berge this season. What's their future look like?
I think their future is bright. They've got some strengths and some weaknesses in that program. The strengths are they always have athletes. They certainly seem to have athletes some names you may know: Rocco Wojcik, who's going to go move on to play college baseball at Coker, and Kadir Scott and Josh Brown. They have some football players. They don't have enough of them. They don't have the proper, what I hear anyway, they don't have the proper feeder system. As we all know, like places like Myrtle Beach and when Burns was rolling and what they've got in the Midlands right now, those rec leagues and feeder programs in the community, it's so important. And right now, Socastee, they've got some football players. They don't have depth and they don't have the youth leagues feeding into that program and the success and the community rallying the way that the most successful programs do. I'm sure that's what they're trying to build, but I just know that they're a step back and the other programs have a head start, and we all know who those programs are. It's such an advantage.
Yeah, for sure. Okay, Smitty, safe travels back to the homestead, and we'll see you next week. Appreciate it.
Absolutely.
Matt Smith with the story there on Socastee. Okay, let's take the break, and we'll come back and roll back through the scores the final time and have David talk more about some of the individual games. We've got everything in. We are lacking 5 SCISA finals, believe it or not. Don't get those guys at SCISA. Why can't they get all their scores out? And they put them on Facebook, David. We'll talk about this. If we want to complain about something, we'll complain about SCISA after the break. How hard is it to put your scores out on playoff night? I don't get it. Be back.
Call Lawyer Lisa. Experience the difference with Lawyer Lisa.
Hi, this is Lisa Hosteller Brown. Do you know the difference between a revocable trust and an irrevocable trust? The difference could easily save you hundreds of thousands of dollars in long-term care costs. Visit lawyerlisa.com to schedule a consultation today.
Call Lawyer Lisa. Experience the difference with Lawyer Lisa.
7511 St. Andrews Road, Irmo, South Carolina.
Daddy, you need a trust.
Looking for a way to fight back against inflation? One viable way to help your money stay relevant during inflation is through investing. To a new investor, investing can feel like a puzzle. With so many pieces to consider, it can be hard to know where to start. But with the right guidance along the way, you can put the pieces together to create a winning strategy. That's where Founders Investment Services come in. Our team of financial advisors can help you navigate the complexities of investing and create a personalized plan that fits your goals and risk tolerance. We'll work with you to identify the pieces of your puzzle and how they fit into your financial future. When you're ready to find the pieces to your financial plan, call 866-739-7064 to speak with one of our specialists, or visit foundersfcuinvestments.com to learn about how we can help you identify the key pieces to your financial plans. Securities offered through LPL Financial, member FINRA, SIPC, and not NCUA insured. Not guaranteed by credit union and may lose value.
Farm Bureau Insurance's agricultural roots and ties to South Carolina farmers have shaped the company's culture and work ethic, providing a unique customer experience. Customers are treated like people, not policies. Now, while other insurance companies may have a one-size-fits-all approach to handling customers, we believe you need to be valued and treated right. Our claims professionals work until the job is done, and our agents still believe in the commitments that comes with a handshake. Call Buddy Bridges in Clinton and Lawrence at 864-923-2174 for all of your auto, home, and life insurance needs.
South Carolina's taste buds have spoken, and they're asking for beef. There are more than 7,800 farms raising cattle from pasture to plate in the Palmetto State. So whether it's steaks on the grill before the big game, sirloin medallions plated for date night, or burgers with a family, make sure beef is a part of your playbook this football season. Smoked, grilled, and slow roasted. Find the best way to enjoy your beef at scattle.org. Beef. It's what's for dinner in South Carolina. Funded by the South Carolina Beef Council, part of the Beef Checkoff Program.
You know, JP's a huge Notre Dame fan, David, if you didn't know that already. That's why he keeps my mic off an extended period on the last bumper of the night so we can hear more of the Notre Dame fight song. How much of the Notre Dame fight song, David, do you think we'll hear tomorrow at Death Valley?
Do they play it every time they score?
I think they do.
Okay. Well, they'll play it 4 times.
4 times. Who do you like?
Minimum.
You like the Tigers or the Fighting Irish?
No, I don't. No, I think it could be close. I think a lot of people feel that way. That's why the spread's only like 3.5.
Mm-hmm.
You know, but unless if Clemson plays really well on offense and does not have any turnovers, they'll have a shot in the fourth quarter.
Mm-hmm.
But like they did against Florida State, you know, that turnover in the Florida State game, if that doesn't happen, Clemson beats Florida State, and we're having a totally different conversation right now about both schools. So I think Clemson being at home, you know, I think the fans will rally, but make it tough. But you know, I don't know, 24-20, 24-17, something like that. Notre Dame maybe.
Mm-hmm. Okay, let's go back to the scoreboard and just kind of talk in general about each of the classifications. So in 5A, looking ahead to next week, obviously Dutch Fork and Hannah, we're really going to start having some terrific matchups now. And I guess in 5A, it will start there. Dutch Fork and Hannah looks like a monumental matchup there. But, you know, Gaffney Clover could be very good. Here's Spartanburg and Man. And, boy, this would be a great opportunity. Mm-hmm.
Hillcrest and Burns.
And Hillcrest and Burns.
Really
but
good
I
one.
want to go back to the Man, though. I mean, if you're JL Man, you might be catching Spartan High at a pretty good time for a chance to advance your program, don't you think?
Yeah, I think this is a huge game for JL Man. It's one of those statement games. You know, Spartanburg is not, you know, a great football team, but they're pretty good, and they're a traditional, you know, good football program. So JL Man can really make a strong statement. I don't know if they can get to the finals, but they could. Well, that would be a heck of a statement to get to the third round and beat Spartanburg in the second round.
Absolutely. That would make people really sit up and notice because they've come a long way the last couple of years. You mentioned Hillcrest and Burns. That looks like a good one as well. Yeah,
I think that's gonna test Burns' defense. The Hillcrest offense will test Burns on defense. But Burns is, you know, nobody's really talking a lot about them. I mean, they're good, and everybody knows they're pretty good. But these two teams are not being talked about as a team that could be in Orangeburg, and obviously the winner will have a great shot. You know, but Dutch Fork, if you know Hannah, that's another statement game. Hannah, if they want to earn the respect or whatever you want to call it, they got to win a game like this next week. They got to beat Dutch Fork. I don't care what Dutch Fork's record is. It's November, and I've been saying it all year. Dutch Fork, I didn't see the game, but I read some stuff. They looked really good tonight. Lou said that. Their quarterback is healthy. You know, we'll see. That's gonna be a huge game.
They've been waiting in the weeds. I promise you, they've been waiting in the weeds. Okay, what about Fort D and White Knoll? White Knoll's had a fantastic season. Got a shutout win tonight, and Fort D took care of Socastee. So, what do you think that game down there?
Yeah, I think Fort will be competitive, but White Knoll is really good on defense, and Fort Dorchester is not great on defense. They don't have to be great because White Knoll is not an explosive offensive team, but they cannot. For Fort Dorchester to win this game, they just got to cut down on the penalties. They are a penalized team, and you cannot play a team like White Knoll and get 15-yarders here and there and holding calls because White Knoll will make you pay. I mean, I would pick White Knoll to win that game, but Fort's got enough weapons that if they can spread the ball around, they could. I mean, they'll have an offense that White Knoll hasn't seen, you know, in this season. They will. This will be the best offense they've seen in terms of being able to run it and throw it.
You heard the comments from Coach Rafferty down there, or Raftery. Was he kind of taking a subtle shot at the Green Wave fans? I don't know what the crowd was like there tonight, but what did you
Well,
think?
I don't think so, because I can tell you, I don't know what the crowd was tonight, but after the crowd I saw last week, they deserved a break. Boy, that place was slammed packed last week. Somerville fans showed up, Fort D fans. This week, being Berkeley, that'll be good for the gate, because Berkeley's going to travel. They've already played one time this year, and Somerville handled them pretty easily. But Berkeley fans will show up to play Somerville if it's even in Checkers. So Friday night, I don't think you're going to have to convince Somerville fans to show up. It's Somerville Berkeley in the second round of the playoffs. Holy cow! You go back many, many years, and those were some total wars.
Yeah. Let's go to 4A, Greer and Greenville. What do you think there? A gutsy win for Greer tonight, and Greenville's got their offense in high gear, 63 points tonight. What do you think?
Yeah, I kind of lean towards Greenville in this one because of that offense getting in high gear. Greer is a very solid, well-coached, fundamentally sound football team, but they're going to have their hands full with that offense, so they're going to have to score a lot of points. And I don't know if they will. I mean, I would, sitting here right now, I would pick Greenville to win that game.
Do you think Greenwood has anything for Northwestern?
That's a tough one, because I think Northwestern is going to win the upper state. I picked them in August, so I would say no. They'll play hard, and they'll have a good defensive effort, but man, you got to have more than effort against Northwestern, because if you take away the run, they'll throw it all over the yard, and if you take away the pass, they got Turbo back there doing his thing. So I just think Northwestern, one, is on a mission, and two, they're really, really good.
Mm-hmm. South Florence, Richland, Northeast. Now, R&E can score, but this is South Florence, which also can score, but can also play defense.
Yeah, South Florence defense will certainly, they will have a plan to take away the quarterback, and then you said they're going to have to beat South Florence a different way, and I don't know that they can. They won tonight, scoring all those points, but they gave up 50 something. South Florence is certainly capable of putting 50 on the board, and I think this will be a very tough challenge for Richland Northeast.
Take a look at the 3As here real quick, and let's talk about, let's see, which one do I want to talk about? I guess Clinton and Broome. How you like that matchup?
It's going to be a really good game. It's going to be a really good game. Broome had a tussle tonight with Seneca, which a lot of people thought they would. But Clinton is a different animal. This Broome team has had an unbelievable year, but they need a statement win. Like we talk about, when you get to this round of the playoffs, to beat a team like Clinton that's not only good but a traditional power would be a huge step for Broome. But I right now, sitting there, I would pick Clinton, but I think Broome's got a puncher's chance because of that running back.
About Dillon and Camden.
Woo! Yeah, there could be some points scored in that one. And you talk about a physical game, that will be a slobber knocker. I think Dillon has the edge, but man, Camden, Cam is kind of like Dutchfort. When they get to this point under Brian Remp, they just start putting it all together, and they've been in the finals a couple times. I don't know that this team is as good as some of their past teams, but it is November, and they do score points. They'll just have to play really good defense and keep Dillon from getting away from them.
A team that doesn't get a whole heck of a lot of statewide respect, I don't believe, just in regular conversation, would be Crestwood. They throw up another shutout tonight. They score a lot of points, and they get Beaufort. What do you think there?
I like Crestwood. I like Crestwood to win that game. Their quarterback, the Shrine Bowl quarterback, Javion Martin, is a big time player. And he makes that whole thing go. And, I've talked about this many times over the years. When you get to the playoffs, you almost kind of look at the teams that have the best quarterback play, because it's so important to have a guy that you can trust. And in a lot of these matchups, when we look at the scores Friday night, it's going to be because the team that won had the better quarterback. I think Crestwood's got, they got one of the better quarterbacks in the lower state, so they might win more than one more game. But we'll see. I think, Buford is the defending state champ and went on the road and beat Loris tonight, so who knows?
Real quick, 2A, of course, Abbeville, Newberry next week, but I think everybody's just sort of waiting for maybe Abbeville and Gray Collegiate to get to one another.
Yeah, I think so. I mean, I would be shocked if that wasn't the case at some point where those two are going to run into each other. I mean, I hate to take away anything from any other team, but one of those two teams, I think, is going to be playing in Orangeburg.
All right, David, a fun night. We're off and running with the playoffs, and the games now really get interesting, right? No walkovers pretty much as we move forward.
No, I think starting next week, we're going to see a lot better competitive games, no doubt.
You have yourself a great weekend, my friend. Talk to you next week.
Okay, man.
Thank you. Thank you, David Shelton. Thank you, JP Barry. Want to thank all our affiliates, you high school fans listening tonight. Most importantly, thanks to you coaches and thanks to you players. Thanks to you officials. Can't do it without you. And thanks to you parents for raising good boys to play high school football. We appreciate all of you. And thank you for joining us tonight. Have a great weekend. High School Scoreboard brought to you by Founders Federal Credit Union.
WQXL Columbia, W264DF.
From the Bart Fireside Studio, the solution for keeping you warm this winter.
This is 107. The Point. The Point. The Point.
WQXL.